Alongside Toronto Blue Jays reporter Keegan Matheson of MLB.com and the host of OverDrive on TSN 1050, Bryan Hayes. We will begin with how this game ended. Bottom of the ninth inning, the Blue Jays have 2 on and none out, and it ends with Addison Barger getting doubled off. That was a huge base running mistake, Keegan. How does that happen? Can you explain how that happens in Game 6 of the World Series?
Can't happen in any game of the season, especially Game 6 of a World Series. When that ball was caught, Jen, I actually put my eyes right back down to my laptop to keep working because I didn't think anything else could happen in that play. I figured Barger would be glued to that bag. Now, I know that Kike Hernandez did get a very good jump. He was playing much shallower than you normally would in left field, so he was well positioned. But if you're Barger, I understand the aggression. I know you want to make something happen in this moment, but you've got to avoid the worst-case scenario, and you cannot take the bat out of George Springer's hand, the top of the lineup.
That's the biggest part of it, too, is George Springer was about to step up and possibly win the World Series, right? This place was ready to explode, and it's disappointing because it is such a massive mistake. It cannot happen, like you said, Keegan. Everyone knows you cannot bust open a fundamental issue like that. Game 6 of the World Series, bottom of the ninth inning, and it's unfortunate it happens to a guy like Addison Barger, who's been so good. He was really good tonight prior to that mistake. He's been really good in the World Series all throughout the playoffs. He finally looked like a rookie tonight. He looked like that inexperience showed up. He misread it. He jumped. He was trying to be too aggressive. He wasn't going to score. Sure, you maybe get to third, but you're not going to score on that play. It simply can't happen.
Unfortunate way to end it, but a bizarre feat earlier on in the inning when that ball got lodged underneath the wall. We see balls get lodged in baseball, but have you ever seen one lodged here at the wall at Rogers Center like that?
No, we asked Addison Barger himself. We asked Dalton Varsho, who knows this wall very well, Bo Bichette, John Schneider. We've spent a lot of time at this field, but they've spent a lot of time on it. They've never seen it here with this wall. Very strange play. Eventually the right call, but I know for a lot of folks sitting at home who don't see that call all the time, you're thinking, what the heck just happened?
Right.
It's pretty unlucky because it could have gone differently from after that. You don't know, but it could have.
It seemed too, Hayes, like the crowd was with the team the entire game. They were out of their seats. They were cheering. There was a roar. They really felt that ninth inning, things might change, and it was so crushing when it didn't. Do you get the sense at all that some dread has crept into this Toronto fan base?
Well, I definitely could feel the disappointment because we keep comparing this run to the 93 run, and we know Joe Carter hit a 3-run home run in Game 6 to win the World Series, and I got the impression, you could feel it, 50,000 people in here were thinking, it's going to happen for us. Right? Everyone was so lucky back in 93 when he hit that home run. It's coming here for us tonight if you're a Blue Jay fan. So obviously there was a ton of disappointment. I think there was a ton of confusion, right? The ball being lodged and then the Barger base running mistake. People couldn't believe it. They were in shock. I think they still will be in shock until they wake up tomorrow. As for the confidence, I think it has to wane a little bit if you're a fan. There's part of you that were thinking, I don't want to go to Game 7 against the L.A. Dodgers. The history of the Toronto sports scene, there's a lot that goes into that blender. So, yes, I think there was some dread, certainly once everyone realized exactly what happened in the bottom of the ninth.
Jay's happy to get Yamamoto in the rear view. For the second time this series, they get Yamamoto. They struggle so much to get hits off this guy. Again, what was it offensively that the Jays just couldn't get it together?
He's so good because he can shift who he is as a pitcher from inning to inning to inning. Now, if you're facing Kevin Gausman, by the time you see him for a second or third time, you know where the fastball goes, you know what the splitter looks like, and that's why Gausman was spectacular early. That's the best I think I've ever seen Kevin Gausman, innings 1 and 2. Then they got to him. Yamamoto can shift to plan B, C, D, E, all the way down the list and look different each and every time. He does that with incredible talent, great velocity and movement, almost an impossible guy to hit when he's at his best.
Yeah, deja vu. Really, it is deja vu. We were standing in the same place after Game 2, and all you can do is tip your cap. The guy is an absolute machine. He's filthy, and he was filthy again tonight. But they had opportunities, like they did in Game 2. Not nearly as many in Game 2 as they did tonight, including the 6th inning, which was the last time we saw Yamamoto. Dalton Varsho came up, 2 runners on, and his swings, man, he was baffled. He wasn't even close to connecting. And what was the difference tonight compared to Game 2 was they ran him out of the game. This wasn't 110, 112 pitches from Yamamoto. This was not a complete game. So it wasn't quite the masterpiece he put forth in Game 2, but you got to give credit where credit's due. He is an absolute machine, but if you're a Blue Jay fan or if you're a part of this team, you feel pretty confident you're not going to see him again. Anything's possible with him. He might warm up tomorrow. It wouldn't shock any of us. But probably that's the end of the road for him.
Unfortunately for Kevin Gausman, it was deja vu all over again for him as well. He gets no run support. He was pitching very well. He had 17 whiffs through the first 3 innings of this ball game, and the Dodgers still scored three runs in that 3rd inning. That was where all of the damage was done. And Keegan, what did you think of the idea to pitch around Freddie Freeman to get to Betts?
That's tough because you're waiting for Mookie Betts to wake up, Jen. We talked about that pregame. Mookie Betts had not been himself yet. He had not been that MVP caliber player. Players like Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman and Shohei Ohtani, they do not go out in the World Series with an 0 for 4. They just do not. Mookie Betts is a tremendous baseball player. We haven't seen it much lately this week. He's a guy that can go 4 for 4 and wreck a game still at this point in his career. We just saw that in one big swing from him. That's all it took. The Dodgers did not stack up hits whatsoever in this game, but they got the big one, and when you have Yamamoto, you really just need one big hit.
Well, and that's what we said again, deja vu, right? It was very similar to Game 2. It was the 1 inning. It was the 7th inning in Game 2 against Gausman. It was the 3rd inning tonight, and Mookie Betts, he had called himself out after Game 5 in pretty serious manner, too. Like, he was dejected. That guy's going to the Hall of Fame. He's an all-time great player. You had to figure at some point he was going to factor into the World Series. He did it tonight, but I would go back to earlier in that inning. The guy who got Gausman first in Game 7, Will Smith.
Yep.
The guy who got him first in the 3rd inning tonight, Will Smith.
Well, we're going to look ahead to Game 7 now. We know that Max Scherzer is going to pitch for Toronto. Tyler Glasnow pitched against Max Scherzer in Game 3. He picked up the save in Game 6, so unlikely we're going to see him start, but you never know. Stranger things have happened. Who do you think does go to the mound for LA in Game 7, and how does Toronto's pitching line up behind Max?
I think it's Ohtani, and this could look really cool. If you get Ohtani off the top, you could even end up with Ohtani playing a corner outfield for some parts of this game. How far can he push it? 3, 4 innings? I don't know at this point what he's physically capable of. It's not what a normal human being is physically capable of. This could be one of the most interesting all-time Ohtani games, and that's going to be fascinating. The Blue Jays will counter with a few innings of Max Scherzer. We'll see how deep that goes. Chris Bassett, guys, is still the one that I'm really interested to see. He looked great today. He looked great in Game 7 of the ALCS. He feels like that secret weapon, along with Hoffman, Dominguez, and the rest.
Yeah, if Ohtani does start tomorrow night, that's magical.
Yeah.
I mean, Game 7 World Series, Shohei Ohtani.
Is what that
That
is.
is theater, exactly. And I think it's equal theater if it's Max Scherzer,
Yeah.
which we know it will be. I mean, this is a guy, we just talked about Mookie Betts, Freeman, Ohtani. There's a lot of guys who are going to the Hall of Fame in the future. A first ballot unanimous pick, Max Scherzer. And when the Jays signed him, remember, it was late in the offseason. And it felt more like a PR move. Like, we got to spend some money here. We got to bring in someone to sell some tickets and create a buzz. They kept saying, we think he's got something left. He has shown that throughout the playoffs. He can really drop the mic on an all-time great career in Game 7.
Who do you think has the edge in Game 7, Hayes?
I am going to still go with the Blue Jays having the edge because I still believe they've been the better team through 6 games, tonight included. Again, Yamamoto was great, but like you said, Keegs, like the Dodgers, they had one breakout inning. And there were other times where they were challenging this pitching staff in Toronto, but the Jays were right there. They came up in the 6th, the 8th, and the 9th tonight with multiple runners on, and they couldn't cash. And they've been through this a couple of weeks ago in this building against the Seattle Mariners. They are well tested for this, and I actually really appreciated the way John Schneider was talking after the game. Yeah. Cool, calm, collected, said they're going to be here at 1 o'clock playing cards. They're built for this. They're ready for this. Game 7 Saturday night in Toronto. It's the baseball team playing, but I think the Jays still have a slight edge going into it.
It is the first Game 7 in the World Series since 2019. That year, Max Scherzer's Washington Nationals faced George Springer's Houston Astros. Scherzer pitched Game 1 and Game 7 of that series and helped the Nationals win their first ever World Series title.